So we're going to get into it today. If you're one of those girlies who tends to only kind of level up and really work on yourself after a breakup, or after something serious happens, and you tend not to really do this on a regular, we're going to support you in changing that today. Okay, we're going to talk about it. So put a 1 in the comments if you can hear me clearly, and also let me know where you are watching from. Okay, come on in, come on in, come on in. For those who do not know who I am, my name is Elle Antoinette. I am an energetic and identity mentor, and what I do specifically is I mentor visionary women. And when I say visionary women, I'm talking about women who understand that there is a bigger picture for their lives. They don't just settle for small things. Hi, Chicago. And what I do is that I support them in dissolving invisible ceilings. A lot of women, and or I think just say humans in general, believe that they have all these limits of why they can't get to where they're trying to go. When the reality of the situation is, it's not that at all. It's more so that they're not, how can I say this? They don't have the capacity to receive, and they're not in position to receive. And it's because they are seeing everything from a very, very limited view, okay? And so, for example, women who come to me and say, oh, I make this amount of money, but I can't seem to go past this amount of money, I support them in being able to position themselves to make more money. If a person says, oh, I need to go out here and I need to make more money, I need to do this, I need to do that, a lot of times that's not the reality. The reality is you need to position yourself to receive more money. Women automatically tend to go to, what they need to do immediately instead of understanding that the importance is in your being. A lot of women tend to really, really struggle with that, okay? And so what I'm going to be talking about today is I'm really going to be supporting women in that specific key area, because a lot of women, and I used to be the exact same way. I'm not even judging or anything like that. Thank you, lovies. I'm not judging. I'm not being like, oh, you shouldn't operate like this or whatever. I'm basically letting you know that the way that you're operating is like a trauma response. So what we want to do correct is that we want to make sure, what we want to do now, thank you, my love, for these likes, is that we want to shift that energy. You need to not only be moved when you're triggered. And last time I talked about this, I used the movie Wanted, for example. Have you ever seen the movie Wanted with Angelina Jolie? There was a scene in the beginning, I think, where the new guy came in and he had to shoot the wings off a fly. And it was when they put a gun to his head and that he was able to focus and zone in, time slowed down, and he was able to shoot the wings off of the fly, right? So what a lot of people really don't understand is that that's how most people operate. You don't level up until you have a breakup. You don't level up unless you're trying to prove a point that this person got you messed up and you're going to fix it, right? Shalom, sis. You find yourself in a space where you don't start moving until you actually, panic. Like right now, a lot of people are panicking on certain things, right? And then they're like, oh, I need to move out of US. Oh, I need to do this. Oh, I need to do that. You need to start asking yourself, why is it that I only move when a fire is lit under me? Why is it that I only move when my heart is broken? Why is it that I only move when I'm trying to prove a point? Why is it so important for me to prove a point to somebody else instead of getting proven results for myself? These are the things that we have to start paying attention to. We have to start being honest about. So we're going to talk about that today, okay? Thank you, Lovey, for these likes and these gifts. We're going to get into that today. So like I said again, if you don't know who I am, my name is Elle Antoinette. I am energetics and identity mentor, and what I do specifically is I mentor visionary women who, and I say visionary women, like I said, the women who understand that they have more to offer this life by simply just being and not a bunch of doing. So I support these amazing women. Hey, loving. I support these amazing women in dissolving their invisible ceilings, these mindset blocks and all that other stuff that y'all like to say, or trauma that's blocking you from getting to the next level. All those things, demons. Let me tell you something. All those things, and people have to understand the difference between like a demon and something having demonic influence. Okay? And when you understand that difference, you will not be so easily consumed. You understand? So It makes a huge difference. I help them dissolve all these invisible ceilings, help by and which supports them in embodying emotional and energetic authority, which supports them in making sure that their leadership, their love life, and their wealth reflects their design. Okay, a lot of women who are out here making money, a lot of women who are out here married, a lot of women who are out here doing a multitude of things are burnt out, exhausted. Okay, completely exhausted, stressed out, all over the place, right? A lot of these women don't realize the reason why they feel like this and they're in this type of energy is because misalignment is present. And when you sit in a space of misalignment too long, you begin to get sick. This is why if you stay in a horrible relationship too long, it starts draining everything from you, right? This is what happens when you stay at a 9 to 5 too long, you start getting sick. It was one of the reasons why I knew my last 9 to 5 that I worked, I was going to give it 5 years max. And the only reason I was giving it 5 years max is because I wanted them to pay, become vested in my retirement so I could turn around and flip that money and start a business, which is literally what I did. So I was only going to give them 5 years. And the reason why I was only going to give them 5 years, and I was a social worker before I started doing what I do now. And the reason why I was only going to give it 5 years because everyone who was there past 5 years had some form of illness, whether that it was high blood pressure, whether it was diabetes, whether it was pain. It was just a whole bunch of stuff. Like, I just noticed the pattern with the people who were in that space who stayed too long, they got sick. And this is something that you need to recognize about yourself. So a lot of women who are acquiring things and doing amazing things. Hey, Lovey, thank you for these gifts and these likes. A lot of them, what you see is not really what it is. A lot of your favorite influencers, a lot of your favorite gurus online, a lot of your favorite people online are exhausted. And how do I know this? Because they come to see me to get their work. So I'm not telling you something I'm new to. I'm telling you something I'm very true to. Women do a really great job at pretending. Women do a really great job at putting on, okay? But the reality of the situation is the longer you wear a mask, eventually you begin to suffocate. So eventually you will have to ditch the mask or it's going to choke you out, okay? And so normally when you try to ditch the mask, that shows up as burnout, okay? So these are the things that you need to really pay attention to. So if you're in a space where you only execute, from heartbreak, panic, or to prove a point, we're going to support you today with that because we got to get into it. So let's go. So again, today we're talking about why most women only, why women are only, how can I say this? Why women only execute when they're heartbroken, they're panicked, or to prove a point, right? Girl, let me block you because you must be new here. Or slow because nothing I said gave that. But, so let's go ahead and get straight into it, okay? I need you to tell you the real reason, or I need to tell you the real reason of why specifically you may execute best after, what was I going to say? Execute best after when your heart is broken, when your life is on fire, or when someone told you that you couldn't do it. It's not that you're not consistent, it's that you're triggered. And you need to pay attention to the fact that you are only executing when you are triggered. She said that's a fake page. Girl, I'm not even surprised. People so childish. I'm like, it's funny to me when people try to get in my comments, Kendra, because I'm just be like, I'm never going to give you the energy that you want because I don't care enough. So I think it's funny. I think it's cowardly. And I honestly think it's very unwise for the person because the Most High does not play when it comes down to touching his anointed. So do with that as you will. I promise I don't argue with nobody online. It's never that serious for me. I don't care enough. Now, when I'm given permission by the Holy Spirit, I will tell you about you. I will do that, but this morning it's not even on that. It's not about that. So anyway, a lot of women, they think that they lack consistency, and it's not that you lack consistency. It's more so from a space that you only operate when you are triggered, right? Beautiful rising, lovey. That's the only time that you tend to move like a powerhouse, okay? The only time you tend to do that is when your nervous system is trying to survive and not really succeed. And this is the thing that you really have to pay attention to. I'm just going to say it real plain. You're not building a life. You're not building a life operating like that. you're performing for a reaction. Because I want you to think about it. If you only make a move when somebody pisses you off, or if you only make a move after somebody breaks up with you, or there's panic or something like that, you're still seeking some form of validation and approval from that person, because you're trying to prove them wrong. You're trying to prove that they're, that you can be without them. You're trying to prove that this panic is not going to do this. But the reality of the situation is you're doing it from a place of seeking some form of validation. And that's the thing that you have to remember and really, really think about. Hi, Lovey. So you're not building a life by doing that. You are literally performing for a reaction. If that person is not validating you, you're seeking someone else to validate you, right? You're seeking someone else to validate you. I was peeling in, but I had to come inside you speaking facts. I appreciate that. But this is the thing that we really have to understand and pay attention to, because a lot of us, and I did that before. I don't say that from a place of judgment. I say that from a place of that I've been there. I used to only execute when there was pressure under me. I only execute, okay, the papers due at 11:59. Child, I'm working on it. I'm starting at 10:30 p.m. That was me in undergrad. That was me in grad school. That was me all over the place. So when there's a deadline, I would be like, okay, so when I would let myself get really close to the deadline, and then I would start executing. I would do well, right? I would get whatever I need to get done, but I would crash or cry exactly after, because I would put so much energy into trying to execute it and beat this time that I was throwing my nervous system out of whack. Also, during that time frame, I was a lot heavier than I am now, right? Because I used to be 100 pounds heavier. So it was wrecking my nervous system, and then I would get from that, I would crash. I didn't really know how to manage my emotions well, so I would eat them. So it was a multitude of things that were happening, while I was operating like that. And it was just like, this is not something that I can do. So I had to realize that this does not work. You cannot only move when you're provoked, or when you are in panic, or when somebody pisses you off, because we're not in a state for that. You need to be moving constantly in the direction that you want to go in, because the reality of the situation is you're constantly in motion anyway. According to the law of vibration, everything is always moving. So you're either going to move with, or you're going to be stagnant while things move around you, but nothing is going to stop moving, okay? So if you continue to be in a space where you only perform for a reaction, and if you don't fix this, you'll confuse chaos for clarity every time. You'll chase love while neglecting discipline. You'll mistake emotional collapse for motivation. Because stay with me. I'm going to change how you see execution forever, okay? I want to go ahead and be honest. This is not going to be the fun part, but I'm just going to tell you the truth, because I believe it's important for you to be very clear. One thing about me is that everything I teach is rooted in scripture, and it is backed up by science. A lot of the science that I'm going to be giving you, and I've been giving for the past couple of weeks, has been physics, because I need women to understand, I need humans to understand how their internal physics operates. Because if you understand that, then you'll be able to shift your life. We are living in a world of illusions. Hear me now. We are living in a world of illusions. Understand that illusion, okay? Control is the currency of illusions. Hear what I'm saying? Control is the currency of illusions. We also, thank you, my love, for these gifts. We live in a society of illusions. Be very careful what you take in. Be very careful what you take in, okay? So let's just be honest. You don't take action when things are peaceful, when things are going good. You wait until he stops calling. You wait until you get fired to start the business and take it serious. You wait until rent is due tomorrow. You wait until you feel like proving to everyone that you're not the girl that they said that you were. You're not the woman that they said that you were, or that you are. When in reality, your momentum is coming from you being mad, hurt, or scared. So why is it that somebody has to piss you off, hurt your feelings, or put fear in you for you to make yourself a priority? This is the question that we have to start asking ourselves. Why is it that the only way you're going to prioritize yourself and take care of yourself and making sure that you are good is when somebody pisses you off, somebody hurts your feelings, or somebody puts fear in you? Here's the truth that you never heard before, and I want you to grasp it if you grasp nothing else that I tell you today. If pain is your power source, success will always feel like suffering. If pain is your power source, success will always feel like suffering. If you went to become a VP of a company because they said you wasn't going to never be when you grew up, and so you worked so hard to prove them wrong, and they still never clapped for you, they still never said that you were great, and now here you are sitting at the top of everything that they said that you couldn't do, and you can't even enjoy it. Why? Because it feels like suffering. Because your motivations weren't right. Your motivations weren't right. I used to use this as a selling point. I thrive under pressure. Baby, me too. I used to say that too. I used to say that too. Insanity. I used to say that too. But the reality is, like I said, if pain is your power source, then success will always feel like suffering. If everything you do is rooted in emotion, or is in pain or hurt or panic, you can't even really enjoy or appreciate the process, because you're running to get there, and by the time you get there, you're extremely exhausted. So you can't even reap the benefits. You can't even enjoy the fruit. And the crazy part is, it doesn't even feel good. We fight through that feeling. It doesn't. It doesn't even feel good for you to do that to yourself to get to where you're trying to go. That's the crazy part. Your body be screaming the whole time, please stop. Please slow down. Please pay attention to me. But just like you will continue to ride with the engine light on in your car, you ignore the signals of your body until it completely breaks down. Until you develop some form of dis-ease within the body, which basically is a lack of harmony within the body. That is what dis-ease is. It is a lack of harmony within the body. And a failure to create harmony within the body creates dis-ease. And when I'm speaking about harmony within the body, I'm speaking about spiritually, I'm speaking about mentally, I'm speaking about emotionally, then physically. Because a lot of you think that your biggest issue is that, especially women that come to work with me who speak about their health, right? Because I used to be 100 pounds heavier. So when women come to talk to me about their health, the first thing they're thinking is, oh, I need, whatever the food plans or whatever you're saying to do. My clients that are on here will tell you, I only give you one food sample plan, but what I teach you how to do is rewire your internal universe. You need to understand how your sun clock works. Your sun clock is connected to your organs. Your sun clock is and I'm going to do a masterclass on this after this masterclass I'm having on Thursday on the sun and moon clocks, because women are very confused about why they are imbalanced. And I think you need to understand that you have a circadian rhythm clock, which is, we share this clock, men have this clock as well. Every couple of hours, your organs are charging, right? People have somewhere within their minds developed this whole thing that them waking up between 1 and 3 a.m. is them having, this awakening, when scientifically your liver is overworking. If you are getting up and going to the bathroom between 1 and 3 a.m., your liver is overworking because your liver is supposed to be charging during that time frame. You were supposed to be releasing between 5 and 9. Because 5 to 7, if I'm not mistaken, the large intestines or the stomach is charging. 7 to 9 is either one or the other. I may have it twisted. But that is when you are normally supposed to be releasing early in the morning, which is why they tell you, okay? This is why they tell you in the morning when you are to weigh yourself and different things like that. You wait until you go to the bathroom. Well, a lot of you are not going to the bathroom. Why? Because you don't eat the daily amount of fiber that you should be eating. And because you don't eat the daily amount of fiber that you should be eating, you are constantly carrying weight, constantly carrying extra estrogen, and you wonder why fibroids show up. You're wondering why things like down the line, that dominance of estrogen has you out here looking crazy. And this is coming from someone who had womb issues. So I'm not telling you something that I don't know. I'm telling you what is real. I was in the doctor's office in 2004 when they were diagnosing me at 20 years old with polycystic ovarian syndrome. Nobody was talking about it. Nobody even knew what the hell it was. I carried it for 20 until 23. No, lying. 20 to 33. But see, I came in 11 with an irregular cycle. And see, these are the things that parents have to pay attention to, because parents don't know, but you have to pay attention when your child's cycle is coming in too early. You have to pay attention if your child's cycle is coming in and it is irregular. That is a clear indication of dis-ease, lack of harmony within the body. Children are very sensitive. They pick up on what's going down in their house. So they're picking up spiritually, mentally, emotionally, things that can impact them physically. These are the things that we really have to pay attention to because we don't realize these things. So there are so many factors and different things that you can do. You had a baby at your job that started at 6? Jesus. That's insane. But we just don't realize as women, like, how easy it is for our bodies to get into a state of lack of harmony. You have to be very careful. This is why it tells you to guard your gates. It's why it tells you to guard your heart, because those are access points. You understand? Those are access points of influence. Influence is power. You understand what I'm telling you? This is why music is an amazing medium, because music can enter you into a way that you don't even realize, right? So these are the things that we really have to pay attention to. When you're not guarding yourself, when you're not protecting yourself, when you're not paying attention to yourself, you position yourself for illness, you position yourself for stress, you position yourself for early demise. You know why we are leading as women, especially Black women, with heart disease? Because we don't guard our heart above everything else. Do you understand how difficult it is to get to the heart because the heart itself has boundaries around it? I find it very interesting often when women tell me that they can't, they can't tend to stick to their boundaries. Hi, lovey. They can't tend to stick to their boundaries. And I'm like, do you understand that you have innate boundaries? Before anything gets to your heart, there's a process. Even when you think of illnesses like diabetes and different things like that, it's going around in a clock till it gets to your heart. Thank you, my love, for these gifts. Things just don't automatically go to the heart. This is why I say again, we have a sun clock, right? All of our organs are charging. We also have a moon clock as women. Men don't have a moon clock. We have a moon clock because we have a cycle, okay? If you are having an issue with your cycle, it's because your sun clock is off. And if your sun clock is off, there is something going on with one of your organs. Women think it's so cute to be out here chewing ice and saying and making TikToks about having anemia and different things like that. You chewing that ice, is saying your body is not absorbing iron, meaning you are having an issue with your sun clock. You're having an issue with one of your organs. One of your organs is in early failure. See, these are the things that it's cute, but it's not cute, actually. It's a problem. And these are the things that we have to pay attention to. This will be on TikTok. Thank you, my lovey. Okay? Me heading to get your ice now. Don't do it. Reconsider. Read some literature. That's what Andre said. I'm telling you. Okay? Get into it, Eli. Get into it. Anemia is a deadly autoimmune disease. Wake the people up. Let me tell you something. 2 people you need to follow if you are having womb issues or insulin resistance issues. Follow Eli and follow plant-based strategist Kendra. They're going to get you right. You got endometriosis? Eli. You got insulin resistance issues? Kendra. Plant-based. You got to get that right. Because I'm going to tell you something. Y'all need to be paying attention to the fact that they closing these hospitals. You need to be paying attention to the fact of what's going on with these insurance companies. You need to follow the money. And you need to see what's being cut off. You're going to have to step into the full role of being your own healer. But the Most High told you that anyway by telling you to take care of your temple. See, we get the warnings, but we don't listen. We don't listen. Just like much in this scenario, which is why we continue to operate from a space of only leveling up and only doing something different when we get you about to get, and I used to do it too. I'm telling you, when I was 20 in that office and that lady said, you got polycystic ovarian and you about to be pre-diabetic, I didn't even pay attention to the polycystic ovarian part because I just thought it was the norm. I was like, oh, okay, well, maybe that's just whatever. But the pre-diabetes part, see, I had a parent with diabetes. And I was seeing what was going on. That was a fear for me. So what did I do? Immediately panic. The next week, When that happened, that is when I stopped eating beef and pork. I haven't eaten beef and pork in 21 years. Thank you, my love. All praise to the Most High. I have not eaten beef and pork in 21 years after that, because when I went to the doctor and she said I was going to be pre-diabetic, it scared me. It scared me so much that I did an 1,800 calorie diet for about a month. I didn't eat beef and pork, and by the time that month was up, I didn't crave beef or pork. And at the time, I was going to get ground turkey from Aldi for 99 cents. Nobody was eating ground turkey in 2024. Y'all was still on beef. Because that ground turkey was cheap, beloved. I hate y'all ever found out about it. Now I don't eat it no more. But at the time, that panic is what set me into taking action. And I lived my life like that. I was doing my papers late. I was doing, doing this at the last minute. I was doing everything at the last minute. And honestly, I didn't deserve that. And the people in my life didn't deserve that. Because how you do one thing is how you do all things, whether you realize it or not. And it should not take somebody leaving you alone, breaking up with you, pissing you off, hurting your feelings, or scaring you to take action in your life. Because that says something about how you really see yourself. And I don't think that's what you realize. That's very, very important. So again, like I said, if pain is your power source, then success will always, will always feel like suffering. Let me repeat this to you because I need you to understand this. If pain is your power source, then rest is going to feel like laziness. Okay? Love will feel like a distraction, and stability will feel like death. Because you're going to feel bored. And when I say the last part, stability will feel like death, this is what happens with women who will say things like, oh, I want to be with a man to be like this. It was going to be this. It was going to be that. Thank you, my love. And when you get this individual and you realize that this individual is a fireplace, which means that they are steady, they are regulated, they are calm. They don't play the games that the rest of them play. Doing the very thing that you were asking for, then all of a sudden you're bored. You got a problem with that. You don't like that. The person is too nice. It's too this. I challenge women to, thank you, Levy. I challenge women to invite more boredom into their life. Because what that lets me know is that when you struggle with boredom, that means you struggle to be with yourself. Huh? Let's talk about it. Why are you so uncomfortable with being with yourself? But you begging for somebody to be with you if you don't want to be with you. And men are the masters of energy reading, and we are the masters of intuitive things. If we don't want to be with ourselves, energetically, you're not a match for anyone to want to be with you, and anyone that is with you is going to reflect how they don't like you. Because you don't like you. So what we doing? A lot of women think that they are energetic matches for the things that they desire, and they are not. And that is the problem. Thank you, my love, for these follows and these likes. Because I want us to really wake up from this thing. Because if you only level up when a man break your heart, if you only level up when you get in a state of panic, or you only level up when you're trying to prove a point to somebody, you don't really like yourself. You don't value yourself either. Because it should not take external stimuli to motivate you to internally get well. I'm going to say it again. It should not take external stimuli to cause you to do your internal work to be well. And if that is your thing, then you need to ask yourself why. You have to ask yourself, where did that come from? And you got to pluck that root, beloved. Because a lot of the stuff that's coming, right? A lot of the stuff that's coming and a lot of the stuff that's here is happening so fast, y'all. You're going to feel like you can't even take a breath. You're not going to feel like that. So many things will come in life, right? To make you feel like you can't even breathe. How are you going to keep up? How are you going to keep up if that's the only way that you are motivated? These are the things that you really have to think about and truly, truly, truly consider, because it's not a joke. So again, let me repeat this. If pain is your power source, then rest will feel like laziness. And the Most High told you to rest. Know why the Most High told you to rest? Because you can't work 25/8. Because you will throw the body into dis-ease, because the body will not find harmony without rest. Rest is a gift. Do you understand that? Society told you to hustle because This is their agenda. You better pay attention to who your master is. You understand? You either master yourself with what the Most High gives you, or you become a slave to this society and you are mastered by others, because you will not master your own mind. You won't think for yourself. A lot of women don't like to think for themselves, and they don't like to make decisions, and they don't like to rest because they have this association as if it is, it's lazy. Absolutely, it's a must. It's a must. It's a must, and it's a gift. I'm gonna be very transparent with y'all. When I used to be a bridal makeup artist, right? And I think I've told y'all this during the time frame. I was 100 pounds heavier then, but I had a booming bridal business. I was working at MAC Cosmetics, and I was working as a social worker. I could not keep no money. Now, how in the fudge round did I have all three of those things going, and I could not keep no cash flow? It just was not making any sense to me, right? But the reason why it was not making any sense to me, because I was so diseased. I was hormonally imbalanced. I was losing my hair in the center of my head. Sun clock warning. When your hair falling out, sun clock warning. It's one of your organs is talking, okay? So it was so much that was going on. I was working every Saturday. I'm closing $1,500 days on Saturdays doing bridal makeup, on my feet, bringing in people, whatever. Still couldn't seem to hold it because I was in such dis-ease energetically. I was not in a position to even hold money. Something kept happening where I had to keep shelling it out. I never found rest. I was working every Saturday. When I stopped doing makeup and I transitioned into what I'm doing now, what I was supposed to be doing, is I realized when I started to keep Sabbath, that's when I hit 6 figures in my business. People begged me to work on Sabbath. People begged me to do this and work. My clients will tell you, I don't even respond. And we have a Telegram. I do not respond when it's rest day. I don't work. I honor the one that created me. I honor the experience that I'm allowed to have. And the crazy part about it is I'm not even working and money still be coming in on the Sabbath. Money still be coming in and not even doing nothing. That's what obedience looked like. I was explaining that when my father passed away, right? When my father passed away, I couldn't work for a week. I tried. I was like, well, maybe I can. Absolutely, I couldn't. So what ended up happening is that I just rested. I just rested and I obeyed and I listened. And as soon as I did that, when I came back to work, people were coming in, signing up for my program. People were coming in, buying tickets to stuff. People were coming in, buying courses. I was getting all this income that was coming in, all because I was obedient and resting. All praises. You have to understand, truthfully, that obedience is so much better than sacrifice, because when you disobey, right? Law. Because your body has to come under law, which is why when your body does everything to try to protect you, but then it gets to a point to where it breaks down. It is designed so intricately by the Most High that it can withstand so much. Because if we want to keep it real, a lot of us ain't been eating real food for a long time. Let's get into it. A lot of us ain't been eating real food for a long time, but you still have been able to survive all these years eating all these. Y'all see these children that are being raised and all they eat is processed food? Do y'all see how long the human body can go without having real food, real substance? It takes a long time for the body to break down. It can happen quicker if you are destroying it by not putting proper things into it, because the body operates based on a program, and food is a program. And the reason why processed food does not process well in the body and it stays stuck is because the body cannot recognize the program. This is not carrots, so I can't send beta carotene to the liver. I don't know what this is, so let's just store it here in the stomach, and eventually it sits there so long and it starts making holes in your stomach, because it's not supposed to be there. The body is trying to find every single way to keep you safe. But you don't realize that because you don't understand the law of realizing that your body is a temple. Realizing that you are to guard your gates. Realizing that you are to guard your heart, because these are access points. And when you give access to the wrong type of influence, demonic influence, to these points, you position yourself to become prey. It should not take somebody breaking you down like a fraction for you to want to work on yourself. That says something. And this is something that we really have to start paying attention to, because a lot of women do this. This live is not for the woman who thinks that she needs another planner. It's for the one who will, after she get ghosted, she doing them subliminal posts. She making a comeback after she done got her heart broke, or, I'll show them, until she crashes out. You know how to execute, but only when, here's the thing, only when you're hurt enough to hustle, or you humiliated enough to hyper perform. I'm gonna say that again. Hi, lovey. You know how to execute, but only when you're hurt enough to hustle, or humiliated enough to hyper perform. This is called reactive execution identity. So if you only level up when that man break up with you or he be done with you, if you only level up after somebody says you can't do something, if you only level up after they said the world is on fire and you finally decide to move your feet, you have reactive execution identity, which, as an energetic and identity mentor, I'm here to let you know that you can't keep that up. That's going to burn you out. It's going to burn you out fast, especially where we going. Here's the problem with not being in alignment with your authentic identity as a woman. Let me tell you the danger that you put yourself in, okay? It's not sustainable. Tell them it's not sustainable. Here's the position you put yourself in when you have reactive execution identity. This means that you have not accepted the fullness of who you are. Therefore, you have chosen an identity to assimilate in this society, because you need an identity to make friends, to connect, and all of these things, right? So you have chosen the identity of reactive execution identity. And in that specific thing that you need to understand and be very clear on is that is going to choke you out. That is going to choke you out because that keeps you in a state of victimhood. See, that is one of the victimhood identities that I speak about, right? Behind closed doors. Reactive execution identity. So that particular identity keeps you in a victimhood. Somebody is always doing something to you. Somebody is always harming you. You don't know why people keep treating you like this. You're such a good person. You keep attracting narcissists. You keep doing this. You keep doing that. You keep outsourcing yourself. That is what you're doing. You keep outsourcing yourself, hoping that someone will give you something. You are outsourcing yourself for a victimhood identity and wondering why you are in a constant time loop of victimhood experiences. Somebody is always doing something to you. Exactly, selling out self. See, and a lot of women don't really understand this, but when you understand energetics and you understand science and you understand scripture, you can pay attention to all these things, because everything I teach is rooted in scripture and backed up by science. So even if you're not a believer like me, hey, go read the science. Go do what you want to do. Energetically, when you find yourself always in a victimhood, you have a stench. You have a spiritual stench that makes you very attractive to other reactive execution identities. You know who else is a reaction execution identity? The narcissist. Because they need your reaction. They need your supply. And that's why you always meet them, because you both operate on the same frequency, because you both have the same identity. You both are reactive, and you only execute when something happens. That's the only time. The only time you get better in your relationship is when somebody threatens to leave you alone. So you need to pay attention to the people in your life who even have reactive execution identity. And if you hear that anywhere else, you already know where it came from. So these are the things that we have to start paying attention to as a woman. That is a form of victim mentality and victimhood. And people who are in that space struggle to take accountability for themselves. Because why is it that you had to get your heart broken for you to get yourself together? It doesn't make any sense. When your heart was in a good condition, you couldn't take care of you, you couldn't fool with you. To have reactive execution identity means that you wait for emotional chaos to give you permission to act. Ain't that crazy? Imagine walking around here your entire life. Just picture this. Picture walking around here your entire life, not taking any action until somebody else provokes you and gives you permission to act. Are you a slave? Are you a slave? But see, here's the reality of it. If you are a slave to your mind, your own mind, if you are a slave to your emotions because you are reactive, then you will always be a slave to other people because you are easily provoked and they can easily snatch your power from you because you are so unprepared. You are so unprepared. And the way you prepare is by stepping into the fullness of yourself, but you don't want to do that because you don't like yourself. Goes back to my original point. If you have reactive execution identity, this means you only wait. You only wait for emotional chaos to give you permission to act. So you need the drama to act. You need the drama to get things done. And this is why peace feels boring to you. This is why your routine can't hold. Even though your body is on routine as a woman, you swear up and down you don't like routines and you rebel against routines. Sis, you are a walking routine. You just not tapped in, which is why you are out of sorts, because you don't understand your rhythm. You don't understand your routine, and you're trying to do things that other people have done, trying that on and wondering why it doesn't work for you. You are not here to work like men. Women are cyclical beings. We are cyclical. So we don't operate like men. Men are very linear. Everything about them is linear all the way down to their reproductive organs. All of that is by design for a reason. It is a reason why we are cyclical beings, even down to our organs. Like these, even down to our reproductive organs. These are the things that you really have to be paying attention to because these things are extremely important. We be missing it. We be catching everything else, clocking everything else, but we're missing everything when it comes down to ourselves. Like I said, when you have reactive execution identity, this is why you can't hold a routine. This is why you don't finish what you start unless things are falling apart. And honestly, when you do this, you're trying to not focus on things falling apart. So that's your excuse of why you're going so hard now. You're going so hard now because you value everybody else more than you value yourself. And that's really the truth. And people got to hurt your feelings for you to get active. Thank you, my love, for these gifts and these likes. And that's crazy work. Very much so avoidance of self. Very much avoidance of self because you're not aware of self. You don't understand self. Because if you were aware of self and you understood self, you would value self. Because value is innate. Value is not in what you do. Society tricked you into thinking that what you do provides value because they pay you. That's a spell. Money is a byproduct of obedience. Get into it. Money is a byproduct of obedience. Understand that. Even when it comes down to the 9 to 5, they don't pay you unless you obey their guidelines and standards. Same thing happens when you out here working for yourself. Same things happens when you out here on assignment. There's beautiful perks and rewards to being in obedience. Trust me, I know. I've been able to build a multi-six-figure business from the ground up without working hard and hustling. I've been able to be in this business and to be able to travel the entire world as well. Obedience is way better than sacrifice. I just told y'all I had 3 things going on. Makeup business back then, working a full-time job as a social worker, and working as a makeup artist, and I couldn't keep anything in my hand. I had reactive execution identity. I only got things done under pressure. And it made me sick. And it ruined my womb for a long time. And I had to do a lot of work to correct those things. Okay? Now let's talk a little bit about the science aspect, because I'm a nerd. So I like to dissect scripture and science all the time, right? Because I need to know, I really need to know how I work, and I really need to understand how other people work. And that goes well with my degrees in psychology. So it all worked out. The Most High knows. So let's get into the science aspect of it. We're going to talk about neuroscience and we're going to talk about physics, okay? So let me show you what's happening in your body. If your nervous system was raised on chaos, safety feels foreign to you. This is why it feels uncomfortable to you. This is why you're waiting for the anvil to drop on your head. You're waiting for something bad to happen because that is what you are used to. You're used to the chaos. You are used to the drama. So saying you are the drama is absolutely correct, my love. You are the drama until you correct that frequency. True T. Okay? Execution only kicks in when you're emotionally inflamed. Your brain is wired, though, for repetition, not ambition. The brain is not going to go after what you say you want. The brain is going to repeat the process. And this is why I always say all the time, repetition is the language of the subconscious mind. Whatever you train the subconscious mind to do, that is what you are going to repeat. Pay attention. This is why you repeat the patterns that you repeat, because you have not reprogrammed your mind and you have not rewired your nervous system for what it is that you desire. So you have no capacity. Therefore, you cannot keep. This is science, I'm telling you. Even if you don't believe scripture, these things are in scripture too. But y'all don't want to believe scripture. But if you don't want to believe it, it's in the science too. Okay? It's in the science too. Because you can do whatever you want to do. Your brain is automated for repetition, okay? It's going to continue to repeat the same thing over and over again. Don't care nothing about your ambitions. Don't care nothing about you wanting a whole different type of man in your life. You're going to keep getting the same one. Why? Because you ain't addressed you. You ain't addressed them childhood issues. You ain't reprogrammed that mind. You ain't rewired that nervous system. And guess what? You're going to keep calling in the same thing. You're going to keep entertaining the same thing because that is what's familiar to you. Pick somebody to play with. And if you think I'm lying, why a lot of y'all be first thing come out your mouth, I want to marry somebody like my daddy. You don't know your daddy is a husband. Get into it. You know your daddy is a daddy. You don't know. Even if you think you know from the outside looking in. You don't know. You don't know. A lot of men, I want to marry somebody that is like my mama. You don't know as a wife. Have a bucket of relax. Okay? And those are two very different people. Somebody can be an amazing father and a terrible husband. Somebody can be a terrible father and an amazing husband. I done seen it both ways. I done seen it with women as well. So we need to stop being naive, and you need to start being real with yourself. You start telling the whole truth. Women lie a lot, and then you wonder why you attract liars. Here's why it's dangerous. Here's why the Most High tells you in Scripture why it's a commandment for you not to lie. To bear false witness, right? Because when you bear false witness, it comes back against you. And the way it comes back against you is that the way the Most High designed everything, the universe is an algorithm, right? So yes, when you hear people say things like, oh, the universe sends, the universe follows directives, right? Based on what's put into that space, because it's already designed. It is a large algorithm that is designed by the Most High. So yes, what you put out there, what you speak into the atmosphere, what you do with this, those things are going to be returned unto you. It is an algorithm, sweetheart. If you don't like what's on your feed, if you don't like what keeps popping up, then you might want to pay attention to what you're engaging in. Free game, if you did not know and you do not understand how social media works, because I've been on a social media game since it popped up on the scene. So let's talk specifically how algorithms work, because I'm a nerd and I like stuff like this. So TikTok is not feeding you videos based on what you like, sweets. Because a lot of y'all like to sit back and watch content, but not like content. Y'all secretly spy. That's why that same content keeps coming back on your screen. Just because you're not liking it does not mean that they're not going to show it to you. The algorithm, the social media algorithm, can see what you are engaging in. So you may not like it, but the most time that you spend engaging with it, paying attention to it, the more it has your attention, it lets the algorithm know you want more of that. Now apply what I said to your life. Same thing. If you don't like what's going on, then why are you engaging with it? Why does it get so much of your time? Why does it get so much of your energy? Why does it get so much of your attention? Because what you are signaling to the algorithm, the universal algorithm, the largest one that is mimicked by everything and every other algorithm, okay? Okay? So if you don't like it, why are we engaging in it? Because the universal algorithm is going to give you exactly what you engage in, what you give your time, your energy, your attention to, okay? Because that's where your actions are going to go. You're not fooling anyone. Grow up. This is why it's very important for you to understand energetically who you are. See, when you know who you are spiritually, then you can be grounded. Okay? So when you know who you are spiritually, you can ground your mind. And when you can ground your mind, you learn how to respond and stop being reactive. And when you learn how to respond, instead of being reactive, you're less impulsive. Little miss, I can't hold this money in my hand, because how you do one thing is how you do all things. The women who have issues with meals normally have issues with money and men. Why? Because impulsivity and the inability to control your emotional reactions, because you are so reactive. You got to have it right now. Patience is a spiritual fruit. It's important for a reason. This is why, like I said, I encourage women, invite more boredom into your life. You need to understand what it is like to sit with self. Because when you can sit with self, others can come sit with you. And it can be an experience for real. But if you don't want to sit with you, why would you ever want anyone else to come and sit with you? Let's go back into it. Like I said, your brain wires repetition. Okay? Not ambition, baby. The universal algorithm that was created by the Most High does not care about you wanting a good man. You are not good to yourself. Therefore, you are not an energetic match for anything good to come to you, because you are not a good to yourself. It is a spiritual violation. It is a violation of spiritual law. What law? What do you mean? You are to love your neighbor as you love yourself. You are to love your neighbor as you love yourself. You are to love your neighbor as you love yourself. But you don't love yourself, but you go out of your way for your neighbor. Your neighbor could be your children. Your neighbor could be your man. Your neighbor could be your mama. Your neighbor could be that business. Your neighbor could be that 9 to 5. You give everything in your all to everything but yourself. Insanity, I tell you. And do you really think that you are an energetic match for people to value you? Do you really think that you are an energetic match for people to appreciate you? When is the last time you heard somebody say they appreciate Walmart? You know why they don't appreciate Walmart? Because there's no exclusivity. They are everywhere. And when you walk in and they look a mess, you ain't even surprised. Why? Because you know what you're getting, because it's always everywhere. Anything that always is available is not appreciated. Ever. You're not called to be open for any and everything at all. Like I said, pay attention to what you're repeating, because your brain is telling you what's going on with yourself. Because the brain wires repetition, not ambition. This means that if your momentum comes from panic, you'll keep calling in panic to get things done. Much like the movie Wanted, right? When he was like, put a gun to my head so I could get this done. And she was like, I ain't finna keep doing that so you can focus and zone in. You're going to have to figure out how to do that without being triggered. And that's true. Because if that's always in your only motivation, what if those things stop happening? You're going to stop taking care of yourself? Like, what we doing? It's not really making any sense at all. This means that you've trained your biology to require heartbreak for clarity. And honestly, it's not your fault, but it's your pattern. So though we may not have created these things for ourselves, it's our responsibility to correct these things. And these are the things that we have to pay attention to. Thank you, loving. And the longer you wait to correct this, the more, how can I say this? The more successful demand that you self-destruct in order to stay disciplined. And you're not going to be able to do that. So I'm going to talk about real quick how this impacts your relationships, how this impacts you in business, and how this impacts you in family. Number one, in your relationships, you may be very magnetic when you're moody, but you're boring when you're stable. This could look like you initiating vulnerability, but you can't hold it without some form of crisis happening. Okay? This looks like you collapsing into connection, but then punishing the peace. When it comes down to business, this looks like you launching out of panic. You got to get this money by tomorrow instead of launching out of purpose. This looks like you only showing up when your back's against the wall in business. This looks like you procrastinating until pressure makes you a powerhouse. And then you crack from it because you can't keep that up. When it comes down to your family, you recreate the same energetic blueprint you swore you'd grow out of. See, a lot of y'all be going to therapy, but y'all don't be changing y'all lives for real. For real, though. A lot of y'all be going to therapy and paying these people and be lying. A lot of y'all be going to therapy and y'all be paying for a friend. A lot of y'all be going into these spaces and you're not really going into spaces that position you to be accountable. See, a lot of you don't want to take accountability for your life. You just want to blame other people. You want to blame your mama. You want to blame your daddy. You want to blame your grandma. You want to blame everybody that came before you. And guess what? You turn out just like them. You just doing something different. You're doing it in a different way. Yeah, you're not getting beat up like your grandma was getting beat up by your granddaddy, but you staying with somebody who's cheating on you just so you can get $1. You thought the curse that you were breaking was domestic violence? No, sweetheart. The generational curse that you needed to break was low self-esteem. Because your grandmother had the low self-esteem, which allowed her to stay in a space where her head was getting knocked between wash and dry. And it is your low self-esteem that keeps you in a relationship with somebody just to get paid, get into it. How about that? Everybody ain't out here breaking generational curses to get generational wealth. That ain't for everybody. And we need to stop telling them lies. But I'm going to tell you something. If you do break the generational curses that are in your family, the byproduct, the reward from that is going to be amazing. It's going to be exactly what it needs to be. Period. But some of y'all got the game real wrong. Real wrong. You think you better than your folks and you recreating the same energetic blueprint that you swore you grew out of. You swore you was better than. You ain't. Let's go ahead and get to the second point when it comes down to family. You demand grace, but you punish others for moving slow. You want people to take it easy on you. But you, on the other hand, out here maneuvering how you want to maneuver. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. You're teaching your nervous system that love equals labor. And if you keep trying to, how can I say this? If you keep tying your executions to emergency, you will never experience sustainable wealth, sustainable love, or sustainable self-trust. And those are 3 things that you need while you're here. Okay? You don't lack drive. You just never had a framework. You never had a framework that works when you're not in pain. And I understand what that's like because I used to be like that too. Right? This is why I created the Finish What You Start masterclass, the physics of follow-through. I'm going to teach you how to use neuroscience, how to use your internal physics to literally emotionally re-engineer, to recalibrate your nervous system, okay? To structure, set up structure and correction in those areas, okay? If you only execute, because just listen to me for a second. If you only execute when your life is crumbling, my God, or when you have 10 half undone or 10 half done projects that were once urgent, or if you keep making panic plans instead of power plays, you're going to need this class. Because this is what you're going to walk away with. Number 1, a physics-based formula for finishing what you start. You want to know how I lost over 100 pounds? Understanding the science of myself. You want to know how I understand, scripture and different things? Understanding the science of how I was designed. It's in scripture. Want to understand and know how I've been able to do the things I do as far as business? The physics of understanding things. You're going to get a physics-based formula to finish what you start. Execution is extremely important. You cannot execute from being reactive. It doesn't work. You're also going to get a blueprint on calm execution without chaos. You're also going to get a nervous system, strategy to sustain discipline. You're also going to get emotional power that does not require heartbreak to be activated, okay? You don't have to do that. So, I have, 3 tickets left. Yeah, I think I have 3 tickets left. It's $127. You can get it with Klarna, Affirm, and Afterpay. You can click the link in the bio to get access to it. I'm going to take a few questions because I have a meeting in 7 minutes. So I have to get off here. So I'm going to have a meeting with one of my clients. I have a meeting with 3 of my clients, actually, back to back. So what questions do you guys have for me? Click the link in the bio to get access to the class. What you're going to get is you're going to get your welcome email, and then you're going to get your pre-work. For those who haven't gotten pre-work, your pre-work is coming out to you today. Okay? So I'm really, really excited about that. It's going to do what it's supposed to do. Okay? So drop your questions in the comments. If you are a woman who you only level up and activate once you've been pissed off, heartbroken, or in panic, y'all, you cannot keep doing it. Whatever you choose to do, and I'm just be so transparent, whatever you choose to do with your life is not going to bother me. because it is your life. But you have to ask yourself, are you okay walking around here with reactive execution identity in a society that's already lying to you? When you're waking up every single day and it's always something new and crazy and different stuff that's going on. When you're in a space where it's a lot of panic and a bunch of, if you want to continue to live your life in the pressure cooker, that's fine, but it's going to make you sick, and you're going to become so sick to where you get in the right position. You're going to be a slave to this system. You're going to be a slave to sickness, which is going to make you a slave to the system. And being sick is big business, baby. It's big business. So you better really start paying attention and really start making some real decisions about your life, because leveling up and doing what you need to do only when people upset you is crazy work. And, you know, if you know, and hi, Lovey, if you know that I've been talking to you in this live, you need to go ahead and get one of those tickets to the to class. I have, like I said, 3 seats left, I believe. I might be wrong. I think I added 5 seats, but then some people took them. I don't know. But whenever the link run out, it don't work, that's when you know the ticket's gone. Because it's automatically gonna cut out. So click the link in the bio to be able to get your ticket. Reactive execution identity. That's a victimhood identity. You won't hear that anywhere else. Women who come to work with me get to understand, especially women who are in victimhood mentality. I tend not to really attract those, but when my clients get into victimhood mentality, I'm able to gauge exactly where it is and where it's coming from and call it out so they can understand it, get clarity, and correct it. The reason why a lot of you continue to walk around here doing and being in the victimhood mentality is because you've not allowed yourself to be seen, to be able to be given what it is that you need. And if you want to be seen, you need to come to class. One thing about master classes with me, I only host them quarterly. So this is going to be the only one for this quarter. The next one is going to be based on sun clock and moon clocks. And I can tell you now, those tickets I know are probably going to go fast too. This is going to be recorded. It is recorded, but it's going to be on my YouTube channel. Okay. Any other questions? Any other questions? Women who have come to work with me specifically, hi Lovey, the 3 results that they tend to get is they make more money, they get healthier, they attract better. And honestly, those things are going to be very important in the next 5 years. In the next 5 years, baby, you don't even got 5 years on the health. I'm just keeping it real with you. You don't even got 5 years on the health. You better get in the field now. Like yesterday, you really should have been in the field. And even when it comes down to the money, you need to be in the field. You should have been in the field yesterday. Getting money is so easy right now. And I wrote some articles on this, right? If you are a reader, you can sign up for my paid Substack. You can click the link in the bio to get all more information about that. But yeah, pay attention, baby. No, it's not open yet. It's not open yet. What if we already married and avoided? How can this help me? By regulating yourself. I'm assuming if this person is an avoidant that you're an anxious, right? I used to be anxious. Keyword used to be. I am now extremely secure, right? Anxiousness was one of the generational curses within the women in my family. You understand? When you operate from a state of anxiousness, which is fear, you make very dangerous decisions. You tend to overfunction, overgive. You tend to be a bit overbearing, okay? But all of this is dealing with your fear, and you have to address your fear. So if your struggle is anxious attachment style, you need to get the magnetic wealth blueprint, because there is a class in there, and Eli can tell you, because she's in my Muse Activator program. And they had to watch Loving the Nervous System. Loving the Nervous System will get you right, because the issue what you have is attachment, and when you have attachment, you can't connect, baby. You understand? You can be married to an avoidant and still be Gucci. You understand? When you are good with yourself and you know how to shift the energy, you have to understand polarity. So if you really want to get to the root of that issue, you're going to have to remove your attachments. And Loving the Nervous System is going to help you remove those attachments, sweethearts, even when it comes down to your husband. Because guess what, baby? I was married to an avoidant too. Get into it. I'm divorced now, but I was married to an avoidant too. And I shifted that dynamic very well. We didn't end up working, but I shifted that dynamic very well. And I shifted that dynamic by shifting myself, sweets. So when it says in scripture, the unsanctified spouse is sanctified by the sanctified spouse, get in the energy of sanctification. And loving the nervous system will help you do that, because you have to be detached. The problem is you're too attached. You understand? And we're not supposed to be attached to anything of this world, because everything on this earth has an expiration date. Got me? Everything on this earth has to leave here, baby. So we're not supposed to be attached to these things. So we have to address the attachment issue. And if you want to address the attachment issue, you know where it's at. You can get it with Klarna, Affirm, and Afterpay. The Magnetic Wealth Blueprint is $333. It is power. It's a powerful bundle. It's gonna help you remove your attachments spiritually from money. It's gonna help you remove those attachments in love. It's gonna get you real secure. It's gonna get you secure, and it's gonna give you the capacity to be able to receive what you want. Women who took Love and the Nervous System, a lot of them saw immediate results. One of my really good homegirls who took Love and the Nervous System, and she did a challenge after me, baby. She didn't, right after that, baby, she got a one. Child, he trying to marry. It's been like 3 months. Yeah, I mean, got another one saying she was having issues with her boyfriend, but as soon as she took Love and the Nervous System and implemented these things, he started meeting her exactly where she was. The issue is attachment. If you want connection, baby, we have to remove attachment. And attachment is within. Okay? So, yeah. Any other questions? But click the link in the bio. Go on and get that. It's $333. You can get it with Klarna, Affirm, and Afterpay. You're going to get Deconstruct and Refill Your Cup. It's going to support you spiritually. You're going to get Wealth Alchemy. It's going to teach you how to create wealth for yourself. You're going to get Love and the Nervous System. The Power of Your Feminine Design. You're going to get Passively Paid. And now, yeah. And then you're also going to get Intelligence to Income. If you want to get your money right, you want to get your aspect right with the masculine and all that, you're going to be good. That's the one. Okay? And it's $333. Lord, you talking to myself. So go ahead, baby. It's going to help you. It's really going to support you and put you in position for sure. Because those aspects address the spiritual ties and things underneath it, which is going to strengthen you mentally, which is going to fortify you emotionally so that you can be clear. And that bundle helps you sharpen your discernment. Very much so. It's an excellent bundle. And I'm not just saying it because it's mine, but you can read the reviews and hear from people who have said it themselves. Like, you know, but it's your life. Do whatever you feel is best, okay? All right, y'all, I got to go because I got this meeting with my client at 10:45. So I hope that y'all have an amazing, amazing Monday. Click the link in the bio to be able to stay connected. Get on my email list. Click the link, check out the courses and different things that I have going on. Sign up for my Substack if you are really about that life, because that's where I really be talking to my paid members over there. I have an amazing program called the Muse Activator, but I'm not taking anyone right now. I'm going to open that back up towards the end, closer to the year. What else am I missing? I think that's it. So have a magnificent Magnetic Monday. I hope that y'all are well. For my amazing clients in the Muse Activator, I will see y'all tomorrow. I'm so excited. For my queens in the Sacred Feminine League, that's about to end. I will see y'all Wednesday. And for those who will be in my masterclass on Thursday, I will see you Thursday to help you finish what you start. Okay? All right, y'all. Y'all have an amazing, amazing day. Peace.